The Inspector General of Police, members of the National Election Security Task Force, members of the Police Management Board, executives, and members of the business community, various groups represented here, officers and men, good morning to you all. It is a pleasure to welcome you to the National Police Headquarters for this morning's engagement session as part of our preparation towards the general election. Over the past weeks, the National Election Security Task Force has engaged several groups to brief you on our security preparations ahead of the general elections and also give us the opportunity to listen to your views as far as the elections and security are concerned. Today we are here again to meet a very important group. To keep the program started, may I invite ASP Richmond Mensah to give us an opening prayer. Please let's receive him with a clap as we begin.
Thank you very much. With all humility, shall we please be absent for a short prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you this morning for our lives. We thank you for the lives of all Father, we commit this program into your hand. Come and take absolute control. Father, give us the knowledge, give us wisdom, so that we'll be able to deliberate towards the keys of this mission. This and many more acts of justice.
Thank you very much, ASP Richmond Mensah. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm privileged to introduce members of the National Election Security Task Force members to you. From the Ghana Police Service, that is the chairman of the National Election Security Task Force, we have the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufu. From the Ghana Prison Service, we have the Director General of Prisons in the person of Mr. 𝐍𝐀𝐓𝐈𝐎𝐍𝐒. From the Ghana Fire Service, representing the Chief Fire Officer, we have the Deputy Chief Fire Officer in the person of Madam Daniela Mausisa. Next, we have from the Ghana Immigration Service, the Controller General of Immigration, and the person of Lawyer Kwame Esuaku. Representing the Commissioner Customs, we have the Chief Revenue Officer, Mr. Usunobu. In due course, I will acknowledge and introduce the other persons on the high table. Then we are going to have our introductory remarks, and to do that for us, may I humbly call Commissioner of Police, Mr. Daniel 𝐍𝐻𝐈𝐎𝐍𝐋, the Director General of Human Resources. Please let's receive
the Chairman of the National Election Security Task Force, Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Ekufu, all protocols duly observed. Good morning. I thank you for honoring our invitation. Election security plays a vital role in ensuring the delivery of credible elections across all countries. And the role of security agencies towards elections, pre, during, and post-elections cannot be overemphasized. And hence, there's a need to engage diverse stakeholders to ensure that security provision is comprehensive and meets the felt needs of the good people of this country. And so the purpose for meeting this morning is to give you insight into steps taken towards this year's elections. Secondly, to state the security agency's pledge to work within the rule of law, be neutral, firm, and professional, and also to engage our stakeholders like you this morning to find out from you your concerns, your contributions that may help us to deliver our expected mandate. And finally, to assure you that the security agencies under the chairmanship of the Inspector General of Police, that is the National Election Security Task Force, is committed to ensuring that peaceful election is conducted this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director General Human Resource Development, Commissioner of Police, Mr. Daniel 𝐍𝐀𝐓𝐈𝐎𝐍𝐒. We shall now have some brief comments from members of the National Election Security Task Force. To start, may we receive from the Ghana Prison Service, the Director General of Prisons, Mr. Isaac 𝐍𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻. Please let's receive.
Thank you very much, IG. I give you indulgence to stand on the already established protocol to proceed. We, as the Security Task Force, we are to ensure security and safety of all during the elections. But you agree with me that without discipline, patience, self-constraint, and restraint, all that we in the security will be doing cannot be effective and successful. So therefore, as always, plead with you, the business community. In fact, in the true sense, if you are taking the numbers, I want to believe that the business committee, you be the leaders, you have the largest constituency, even than the LDP, NDC, CPP, others, because your stakeholders, your partners, your clients cut across the board a lot, all of them inclusive. And therefore, in the true sense, you have the largest constituency. And therefore, I will urge you to preach the peace message to your people so that we will have a peaceful election this year. You all know that there's this strong negative correlation between peace or lack of peace or disruption of peace in the country and successful business in that country. The more we lack or the more we branch ourselves into confusion, the more we also lose as businessmen and women. And therefore it's very important, imperative upon all of us to ensure that our constituencies, our stakeholders all comply and stay in accordance with the rules and the regulations that guide our elections. As I said, we the security, we are doing our best. And specifically in prisons, I don't have enough rules for more clients. So I prefer everybody being law-abiding during the elections. And I know we shall succeed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Director General of Prisons. We shall now hear from the Comptroller General of Immigration, Lawyer 𝐍𝐀𝐓𝐈𝐎𝐍𝐻𝐻. Please let's speak.
Good morning. The response does not look vandalistic at all. So you know where I'm coming from. Once again, good morning.
Good morning.
IG, our boss, I'll seek your permission to stand by the existing protocols. I believe it's the first time election is approaching and the National Security Task Force, headed by the IG, invited the business community, the industrial players of our economy. As Mr. 𝐍𝐀𝐃 said, and 𝐍𝐀𝐃 is also an old vandal like myself. You cannot delink peace and development. And I can just imagine without peace how your investment that you have made, the number of people that you have employed will be. We are to maintain peace before, during, and after the elections. We've had elections since 1992 and made progress. We want to assure you that as the National Security Task Force and all the security agencies, we are working very hard and committed to maintain peace of this country. And like I've said elsewhere, and when I have the opportunity, from where I stand, representing the Ghana Immigration Service, we are the custodians of our borders. And you all know what is happening within the sub-region, protecting our borders with the military, with the police, and other security agencies. We want to assure you that we will not allow miscreants to come and disturb our peace. And that is the pledge the Ghana Immigration Service is making to you. Then also, to be honest with ourselves, we know that since 1992, notwithstanding the progress we've made, anytime there is election, there's tension in the air. You can feel it. We are to maintain the peace and enjoy our Christmas. We want to send this message clear. We are to maintain the peace, and we will never allow anyone to destroy the peace that we've enjoyed as Ghanaians. The advice goes to the principal political actors who hide tax and not their family members, not their relatives, to create mayhem. The IG said, we have enough cells to put them there. What I'll say is that advise your relatives not to be involved. They should never create any mayhem, and will never allow mayhem to happen. The advice is that cast your ballot, wait. The elections results are announced. You win, you win. You lose, you lose. Ghana will stay. Ghana will stand. So that is my advice to you, the industrial players. And never forget the investment that you've made. We'll be having sleepless nights planning the security of this election. No one should come and disturb our peace. And I want to assure you, they dare cause mayhem, we shall deal with them. They create confusion, we shall deal with them. So that is my advice to all of us here. Ghana, our beloved country, will stand firm, because we are the beacon of light to the entire Africa. Everybody is watching us, And I know by the grace of God, 7 December will pass peacefully and we shall enjoy our Christmas as Ghanaians. Thank you and God bless us.
Thank you very much, sir. Indeed, we shall enjoy our Christmas. Ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the other persons at the high table who are not in uniform. So we have Mr. 𝐍𝐀𝐓𝐈𝐎𝐍𝐒 from the Electoral Commission. Dr. 𝐍𝐀𝐓𝐈𝐎𝐍𝐒 from the Electoral Commission. And then we have the President of Association of Ghana Industries, Dr. Humphrey 𝐍𝐀𝐋. You are welcome. Thank you for making time to join us. We shall now hear from the Electoral Commission. Please help me welcome Dr. 𝐍𝐀𝐓𝐈𝐎𝐍𝐒.
Good morning, Angie. Good morning, service commanders. Good morning to all of you. You are welcome to this program. I'm doing a meeting from the Electoral Commission. The Commission wants to assure everybody that we are using CI 127 for the elections. And we are going to go straight about the details of CI 127. I would recommend that each Ghanaian gets a copy. Because if you have a copy and know what the CI is saying, if you know what the CI is saying, then you know nobody can twist the facts. I also want to advise all of us that we should fear disinformation and misinformation. In elections, I remember just after the 2023 DME, there was a video in circulation in a room where somebody in green jacket was stuffing the box with a lot of ballot papers. And the claim was that it took place during our district level election. While we all know that in Ghana we use blue jacket, we don't use green jacket. Again, we don't use classrooms. We do our elections in the open, but it was being circulated. I also remember 2022, there was this rumor that the Electoral Commission is going to create 25 constituencies, and all the media houses were carrying it. So I was invited to comment on that. I said, well, if there's a different Electoral Commission creating 25 constituencies, where they go, but not the Electoral Commission of Ghana. So don't be surprised that in the course of the election, maybe I'll be working with my brother GP, their headline, Simon Gogo has been arrested. And they will give reason for being arrested. These things, if they have not happened to you, you will just not take it serious. But when you fall victim to it, then you understand. Commission is going to assure Ghanaians that we will do everything within our powers to ensure free, credible, and fair elections. But I also want you to understand that election credibility does not depend on only one institution. All stakeholders have different roles to play. When we talk of stakeholders in an election, we are talking of people or institutions or groups whose action can affect or is affected by the election. So if whatever you are going to do can affect the election, or the election can affect your action, then you know that you are a stakeholder. Today we are meeting the business fraternity, and election has a serious effect on you. God forbid, in case after the election there's confusion, who will be your customers? Everybody will be looking for peace, where to hide. So you should be interested in what happens during the election. That is why I always say that the most important person during election is the voter. Because if you want to be a candidate, you should be a voter first. If you are not a voter, you cannot be a candidate. If you are not a voter, you cannot register and join a political party. If you are not a voter, you cannot be a president, you cannot be vice president, you cannot be a minister, you cannot be MP. So the most important person in election is the voter. Even those of us in the electoral commission, we are voters before we became staff of the commission. So as a voter, your responsibility is to go and cast one ballot. Only one ballot. you don't have to stop anybody from voting. It happens at times that even between spouses, somebody will threaten that I belong to party A. If you're my wife or husband, you belong to party B. If you don't change, there will be divorce. When you do that, you are not contributing to free elections. Free election means that every stakeholder plays the role without any restrictions, without any intimidation. So you say that the election was not free and fair, but you don't know that you also contributed because you threaten your spouse that if he does this, you will divorce or whatever. If you are own children, what you can do is to explain the issues to them, but allow them to take their decisions. The other stakeholders include the Electoral Commission, we are the administrators of the system. We will ensure that everything is done. Then the security services, they will apply the rules according to the laws of Ghana. Election does not mean that the laws of Ghana have come to an end or have ceased. Every law still works during election. So the LGP and his team will be busy protecting us, protecting our material, but still they will be arresting people at least. So if you are working, don't think that because of the election, the laws of the country has come to an end. The laws will operate. Then we talk of the civil society organizations. It is also their responsibility to also organize people, their think tanks, explain issues to them. They should not misinform. Then the almighty media, they are the people I fear most. Because no matter what any of us do, they can twist it. I'm saying they twist it, but they can twist it. So if the media also want to be fair, they should give fair, equal access to all the media houses. They should not blacklist, black out others, and also allow others. Somebody will talk, that if you are in your good books, they will polish it very well, especially those I can't speak in radio stations. One item in the news, they will use 15 minutes. They will twist. And if it is, they are against you to negatively twist. So let us be fair to everybody. Let us play our rules. We have the judiciary. Whenever the security people arrest anybody, we expect that the law will be applied according to the tenets of the law. Those who should be punished should be punished. We should not be discriminated. That you look at somebody, after you, the same offense, you go in for 2 years. After you are pardoned, don't do it again. In that case, there's no fairness. So everybody should play the role according to the rules and regulations. But as I said, let's look for CR 127. If you go to Ghana Assembly Press, you get a copy of it. You should come and buy it so that every day you'll be. So when somebody is on air, be it the politician, media, electoral commission saying something, we make reference to it. Article 42 of the Constitution says that every Ghanaian 18 years and above and of sound mind has the right to vote and therefore should be registered. It becomes an antithesis if the community does anything contrary. The same way all of us should hold on to that. My advice to those who are saying they will not vote, don't be offended anymore. But I would say that there are 3 conditions. A Ghanaian 18 and above and of sound mind. So it is only the 3 that should stop you from voting. Which of them is stopping you? Are you not a Ghanaian? Are you not 18 years above? Are you not of sound mind? So it should not be said that I did not vote. You have to vote. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Dr. 𝐍𝐀𝐓𝐈𝐎𝐍𝐒 of the Electoral Commission. We shall now hear from Dr. Humphrey 𝐍𝐀𝐓𝐈𝐎𝐍𝐒. Please let's listen to you.
IGP, Dampari, and your leadership of the task force in charge of the election. I believe this decision of bringing the private sector to such an engagement is courageous. It is progressive, it is intentional, and we welcome it. Over the years of election, this innovation has never been the case. So I had a call from one of your lieutenants to put together colleagues in the private sector to engage. May I take the opportunity to acknowledge them accordingly. I do have here gathered the Chamber of Oil Bulk Distributors. Presumably you could identify yourself for the cameras. I do have Ghana Employers Association, President and his Vice President. I do have the Bankers Association also here. I have the Chamber of Mines also here. And I do have GUTA, members of the Trade Association. And finally, I have the Association of Ghana Industry also represented. IG, we are grateful for this opportunity. As indicated earlier, it's never been the case. And in the delivery of one of our colleagues, he indicated that there is a correlation between a peaceful, stable democracy and business. As I reflected on it, because this came as a surprise to put in a word for the private sector, it is multifaceted, that one can admit, and it's very significant to have such an opportunity. That the private sector over the years has captured our cliche that we are the engine of growth. And IG has deliberately, and I mentioned, that has been intentional, has been purposeful. The private sector seeks to see a predictable business environment as one of the factors to which we appreciate this engagement. It's our wish to make sure that our investments are secure, whether they are domestic or international. It's our wish to also make sure that we have an efficient market where the supply chains are not disrupted, where demand for our goods and fair competition is part of our daily activities and assurance. In the same context, we also believe that the rule of law, which you lead the charge on, is pretty important in every democratic dispensation. The participation of citizens in an election process is a must, and we are glad that you have put together such an initiative to give us the assurance that we need. Thirdly, transparency and accountability are the hallmark of a peaceful and stable democratic era. We believe this is the cause for this gathering. As we seek to do this, our role as the business community and the private sector is job creation, economic integration, corporate social responsibility, and many more. This few that I've listed is to demonstrate to you the multifaceted position that we find ourselves in. And the correlation, as indicated earlier, is a fact. And we can only say to IG that we are grateful to this opportunity. We will pledge our support, first and foremost, to vote as citizens. Secondly, to call by your toll-free lines where we see situations that are untoward. We could call, and then your team could be supportive in doing what is needful. And finally, we pledge our support that will support you through this very engagement. And this innovation shall be repeated and make our nation great and strong. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. 𝐍𝐀𝐓𝐈𝐎𝐍𝐋. I would like to acknowledge the presence of Brigadier General Emmanuel 𝐍𝐀𝐓𝐈𝐎𝐍𝐋, Director Admin at the Army Headquarters, representing the Ghana Armed Forces. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure to invite the Inspector General of Police, Dr. George 𝐻𝐻𝐻.
Everyone who spoke before me stood on the existing road. Now I'm not sure how tall it has become. So permit me to stand by it and not to stand on it because probably I may need some day to climb out there. Having said that, on behalf of my colleagues, and that is on the lighter side, on behalf of my colleagues, we want to welcome you once again to this place. And I'm not going to speak a lot because we want to hear from you. But the first thing I want to say is this. Please, just stand up for me, I think. Just stand up. And let us clap for ourselves. Unfortunately, clap again. And yet you don't know why you are clapping. Now please sit. We have to clap for ourselves as Ghanaians for how we have conducted ourselves, and for that reason, God has been merciful towards us, for us to continue to enjoy this peace that we are having. So you deserve an appreciation yourself, and the collectiveness of Ghana and Ghanaians also deserve that. And this should serve as our motivation going into the election and the post-election period. Let us remember that we have been appreciated for what we have achieved so far. So we cannot, and I repeat, we cannot go back on our way. The only thing that we can do is to ask for more appreciation at the end of the day because of how we have conducted ourselves at the election. The second point I would like also to make is the fact that the president of Ghana, Association of Ghana Industry, speaking on your behalf, said that he appreciates this innovation. It is simple. I did indicate to them at an informal session that you can't do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. In effect, you want mangoes, you have to keep planting oranges, and you're expecting that when the harvest comes, you'll be harvesting mangoes. It won't happen. So we decided to do a lot of soul searching and become better than we have been with all the previous elections put together. So we don't want to be better than the election last one, but we want to be better in terms of the security than all the elections in terms of how they succeeded in providing security put together. We want to be better than that. And that's the assurance we want to give. We therefore want to tell you to relax. Make all your projections into the future, because this democracy of ours has come to stay, and we will protect it with every fiber of our being for the sake of the generation. That is why our plan for this election and beyond, the blueprint we have developed for the first time in the history of this country, to mainstream election security into the totality of security arrangement and make election security a process and not an event. We have 30 years from now in mind. So it means that if you divide by 4 years, you will know how many elections will be conducted before probably that document is reviewed. So go out there and make all the big investment that will make a difference in the life of your employees, in the life of your communities, in the life of this country. And leave the election security for us and just play your part. The next point we also want to assure you is that in order to work with everybody, with the intelligence structures we put in place, we've gone a step further for the first time again, establishing a toll-free number to help us get intelligence across the country beyond the intelligence that we are gathering from the people we put across the country to get us our own people. We want to extend that privilege to the Ghanaian people to support us by giving us information to the center. And that number that you can access us on, if you don't want to have a one-on-one with a regional commander, a district commander, or a divisional commander, you can call toll-free and we will be there to receive it. It's 24/7. And the number is 0800 311 311. You can't forget it. So be assured, we are ready for this election. And now we want to listen to you in terms of your concern based on the points that my brother raised and address them and give you further assurance for you to live here. And where you are today, fortunately, with all the groups that we've met, you are the first to be at this press center for the elections. This one has been set up purposely to give constant briefing to the country. If we have to come to brief every second, we will be. And the press will be here to carry the message so that we'll go and work together and avoid this issue of misinformation and disinformation. We want to assure you that we will do whatever it takes to protect this country for your investment and your businesses also to be protected. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Inspector General of Police and Chairman of the National Elections Security Task Force. I would like to acknowledge the attendance of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industries. Can you please give me a wave? Thank you so much. We are happy you made time to join us. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the first session of this morning's engagements. May I humbly request the press to excuse us, after which we'll have a closed door session. Thank you very much.
Ɛwɔ ne mmerɛ ɛna wɔde obi anso de etimi yɛ sɛ bi kyenkyena atwan mitimi twa sini so wate aseɛ ai mitimi twa sini na upe obi a ɔno nso ɛbɔ nipa ho ban wɔgye nipadua mu adwuma wɔsɛ nipadua no yareɛ ɔma nipadua no fa ne ntoma pa efra ɛnoa ne koko president ɔmampanyini baako pɛ miadɔfo ɛntena se ɛma koko eni and transema amaman enyu sisi moso and transema yare bi emfa wusisi abra watiska kwaye oba ho ade na oda dem na oye metwe be ma de oba bebo wudin aka se mira nefu sisi mira nefu akopa mira Koko president no oma wadu papa na fa bisa ho ya tintina twa masa me ho yare na nsenke no ma esei ka no ma esei ne ma begu ne ma koyie oba yi sori ampa o kasa no a o frewa yes no Koko president enne bia aye fine ko na pedrum do bia